welcome to another episode of Gaston Spotlight. I'm your host, Aaron Park, and today I'm in the studio with Beth McCall and Shane Kennedy to talk about the upcoming New York City study trip with Gaston College. How are you guys doing today?
Fine, thank you.
Doing good.
Great to have you guys in the studio here. So first things first, we don't want to talk about the New York City trip itself. We want to talk about what you guys do, the Gaston College study tours. So if you could just tell us a little bit about that.
Sure. I'd like to tell you first that travel at Gaston College has a history going back to 1978. There have been literally dozens of trips through the years to places as far as China, the Great Wall of China, and Australia. In recent years, though, there has been a growing desire to make travel accessible for more students. So Gaston College Study Tours Committee made a decision to, yes, include and highlight international travel, but to also offer opportunities for students to have shorter trips to places inside the United States. And that is what kind of guided us toward what is our inaugural domestic trip. New York City was the obvious choice.
So is there anything main in New York City that really put them over other cities like LA, Chicago, and Atlanta?
Well, yeah, for us, the focus is on an interdisciplinary trip so that a student is going to experience many things that they've already learned about at Gaston College. So in the case of New York City, we're talking about art, we're talking about
business, architectural,
stuff like
drama.
Wall Street.
Yes, drama. We're going to get to go to see the gold at the
Fort Knox?
No,
yeah.
that's a little north of Fort Knox, but at the Federal Reserve.
Federal Reserve. We're going to take a tour of the Federal Reserve. We're going to be able to see the gold that's been housed there. We're going to Wall Street. On the business side, we're also going to Metropolitan Art Museum.
Natural History Museum?
Yes, so we're hitting a lot of different focuses on that anybody can go, not just business people or humanities.
Yep. So about how long ago did you guys decide that you wanted to be New York?
Well, we started planning in early fall as we were revisioning how Gaston College travel would work in the future. And so Shane took on the heavy lifting of putting together a successful trip in a short amount of time and worked with a company, I think in the New Jersey area, to formulate a trip that would be life-changing for students who've never experienced a metropolitan city before.
So you had mentioned that Shane did a lot of the heavy lifting on it. So what is the cost for a trip like this cost to somebody?
Well, it'll be just under $2,000, and since it's coming up soon, May 16th through the 19th, we really want students and whoever wants to come, whether it be community, faculty, to go ahead and get deposits in just so we can get moving towards that goal of getting everybody set up before the May deadline.
Yeah, so you guys had touched on a few things that you're going to do there. Go into some more detail and tell us all that's in store for anybody who wants to go on this trip.
Well, it's a packed trip. So as soon as we get there in the morning, we're going to meet a tour guide, and we get our own personal motor coach, and that motor coach is going to take us right away to certain things like the Metropolitan Art Museum, the American Museum of Natural History. We're going to hit Central Park. I mean, each day is just packed full of things. It's going to be a great, busy, educational, fun time. We've got dinners, breakfasts.
That are included in the cost.
That are included in the cost, yes. City tours, we're going to hit Madison Square Garden, the Trinity Church, Chinatown. So we're going to have free time at Times Square. Let's see, Radio City Music Hall. We're actually going to a theater or a show, and that should be pretty exciting. I don't know the show yet. It's either going to be Wicked, Lion King, or Aladdin. So that's going to be exciting. And we're also going to hit the Wax Museum, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Definitely, it's going to be a lot of fun. But it's going to be busy. We're also going to hit the 9/11 Museum, and and the Freedom Tower, and that's something that's really spectacular to see. Statue of Liberty. We're going to be taking a boat cruise around the Statue of Liberty. So it's jam-packed of educational opportunities, and it's going to be a great experience.
And Aaron, one thing that I think is so exciting, especially for somebody who hasn't really traveled, is getting to go with a group so that you have somebody to experience these new things with. And the fact that there is an itinerary, you know, the time will not be lost where you're wondering how to get from one part of the city to another. And so it's just a great way to really maximize a trip and do not everything. We understand it won't be everything, but so many things that an individual traveling could probably not get in the same amount of time.
And these tours really build relationships with students, and you really, I mean, the friendships that you gain through these tours, because we're all together and we're all doing things, we're all trying to do the right, well, you know, get to a point where we're all learning and experiencing different things. It's great for students and everybody, yeah.
So when you guys look at the excursions, what you guys are going to do there, is there anything in particular that you guys are excited for yourself?
Well, go ahead, Beth.
Well, I would say, as someone who's never traveled to New York, that every single thing on this list checks a box.
Yeah.
Okay, no, the Fifth Avenue shopping is not the big check for me. Things like the Metropolitan Museum of Art is huge for me. Getting to see the Statue of Liberty would be a big deal for me. And as somebody who lived through 9/11 and remembers that day very intensely, getting to experience that would be very meaningful.
Yeah, there's a lot of emotion with that, and it's really good because we're looking at history also, and nothing beats a Broadway musical in New York City. I mean, that's pretty emotional itself. So it's going to be a great time.
Yeah, so another thing with New York City that a lot of people probably know about is the complicated subway, the stations that they have. Grand Central Station obviously being a big one. Is there any things that you're looking to tackle when it comes to navigating the subway?
We won't have to do that.
Yeah, I mean, on free time we can experience that, but we do have a private motor coach that's going to be taking our group to each one of these events, and so we don't really have to worry about it. But I do understand that's kind of a taste of New York to go through, so we're going to probably experience that, yes.
And I would like to jump in and say that Shane mentioned a while ago being in Greece, and I would like to say if you can navigate the subways in Athens, I think New York is doable.
Yes.
So it's very complicated in Athens?
Well, it's a little bit scary. It really was, but we managed it and had a great experience, and then you've done that. It kind of takes away the fear factor.
Yeah, that's awesome. So focusing more about the people who are going on the trip, what do you think students are going to gain the most from this experience?
I think, I mean, the entire experience is going to be awesome. And I think, again, the relationships that they build, the things that they see together and are going to be able to talk about for the rest of their lives, I mean, that's the real special thing. I'm still talking about, you know, the trip I went on Switzerland with students and Greece and Costa Rica. So, and we're kind of a tight group after you go on these trips, and, you know, we still communicate. Everybody kind of communicates. Even though they've graduated, they still communicate. So I think the relationships and what they're going to see and experience is just going to be something that they're going to keep forever.
The world just gets bigger every trip you take.
That's right.
Your possibilities are just so expanded.
So when you were putting this trip together as a duo, what was the challenging part of putting this together? Any decisions you had to make that were pretty tough?
Price was one of them, because New York City is expensive. I mean, we're flying in, we're staying at a hotel, we have dinners and breakfasts included, and all these tickets to the shows and all the tours that we're doing. So the expense part was a big hurdle to come by. And as the committee, we were trying to make sure it was under $2,000, so it was affordable for everybody.
And is there anything that you've noticed when students react to this trip? Have you heard any good things about it?
Actually, yes. One of my students pulled me aside and say, "Hey, tell me more about the New York trip. I saw a bulletin board upstairs, and I I told her more about it, and she said, I'm really excited about that. And I said, have you scanned the QR code? And she said, I actually have. And so I know that students are beginning to see it. We've started publicizing by asking instructors to post announcements in their Blackboard pages, and we have information up on some bulletin boards, and that is expanding daily.
Yes.
And we're hoping to send direct messages to all students so they know they have this option. But I would just say to anybody who's interested that you can reach out to Beth McCall at gaston.edu or Shane Kennedy at gaston.edu. We can get you the information. But any of these posters you see on campus, this QR code will take you to a form to fill out with name, and you're not signing up for the trip, you're signing up for more information. So there's no obligation to fill that form out.
Yeah, that's awesome. As a student I've been to New York City a few times, but still, if I were to walk around campus and see that on a bulletin, it's going to catch my eye. And is the flyer that you guys just saw, it's popping. Like, it's got the cursive on it, it's got some pictures of the nightlife. So another question is, when the students return from this trip, or when the community members return, what do you want them to say about the trip?
I want them to say Gaston College is a great place, not just to have classes, but to expand their understanding of the world. I want them to come back and say, you have got to travel with Gaston College. That's simple. That's what I want.
Excellent. Perfect. I think, again, I keep going back to the experiences, and I think it's going to be, because we're all a group, and I think the students are just, again, they're just going to talk about it for the rest of their lives. I mean, New York City is, even though like Beth said, we're not going to be able to hit everything, but we're going to hit a big taste of it, and it's going to be real good.
And as you go to New York, I know we had talked before the show, you've been, there's things that you see that you don't have time to do, and it kind of keeps you wanting to go back.
That's right. That's right. And we may revisit New York City again in the future, and with a whole nother group of students, and we can change what we see or whatever, we can delve into that when it comes. Maybe students will say, well, that was great. We wanted to spend more time here or more free time, and we can change and move that with, student input.
So you had talked about that you guys did some international trips as well. In the United States itself, is there any other cities you guys want to hit as a group?
Absolutely. We have started making lists of places that we want to go. We've talked about a New Orleans to Memphis trip with a focus on jazz and the blues and barbecue. And we've talked about national park trips, both in the Southwest and the Northwest. And so those decisions have not been made, and student interest would really help us decide. So if students see this and they want to reach out to us about what they would like to do, that will definitely be taken into consideration as we make decisions.
Hey, well, guys, I really appreciate you coming on here. Unfortunately, that is all the time that we have for today. Thank you guys so much for coming on. If you'd like to find out more about what we do here in the broadcasting program, you can visit our Instagram at Gaston Broadcast. I'm Aaron Park, and this has been Gaston Spotlight.